MathML is a markup language released by the W3C that can be used to represent mathematical equations. So for instance, let's find the quadratic formula here. If I scroll down a bit, you'll see that this is what it looks like in MathML. Now, thanks to a cool tool developed by Dmitry Nesteruk and hosted on Codeplex, I can paste that MathML and convert it to C#. Now, what I've done is download the source code to Dmitry's project, and I've upgraded it to Visual Studio 2010, but other than that, I haven't made any changes, but I'm about to, because I'm going to, in the next few minutes, add support for the Math Input panel in Windows 7. So the first thing I'm doing is simply adding a hyperlink. This is just so we can get to the right functionality. And then I'm going to navigate to the code behind. And then before we can write any code, I need to be able to access that math input control. It's actually located in a COM library, and it's MICAUT. That type library is what we need. We click OK. Let's move to the top of the code, add a using statement for that DLL. And then go back to our event handler. I'm going to add a private member variable of type math input control. So that's the actual control itself that we want. Now, the first time I click on the link there, it's going to be null. So it's going to go into this if statement. And what I want to do is first initialize it, just using the no argument constructor. So I create an instance of math input control. I'm going to enable extended buttons for it, and I'm going to set two event handlers for the math input control. One for the insert event, so when the user clicks insert from the math input control, and also when the user closes the math input control. If you don't implement close, then the user will simply not be able to close it, so it's a little frustrating. And then I show it. So every time I click on that link, it's always going to show the input control. Now, when the user clicks insert, we just need to copy the recognized result, that XML or MathML, into the text box that already exists. And then we're going to hide the control, which will do the same thing if the user clicks close. So let's build, make sure we don't have any errors, and we'll go ahead and try it out. So, looks familiar, right? Only now we have a link to click on that says ink. And when we click on that, we get the math input control. So we're able to control that programmatically. And we can go in there and start writing equations. For instance, the fundamental theorem of the calculus. Now you'll notice as you watch across the top that it doesn't look like it's working, but you kind of have to be patient because sometimes it can't really figure out what you mean until you're finished. So you can see that it's not until I'm almost done that it correctly recognizes some of the symbols. Once I am done, I can see that it's correct. I can go ahead and click on the insert button. And if we look back in Dmitry's program, we can see that it's converted it to C#, which is kind of cool. And there's the original XML up there at the top. And that's the math input panel.